Praise the Lord. On today's daily thought, we're looking at Psalms 36. Psalms 36 was written by King David, and most likely he wrote it after a deep observation or a spiritual maturity. David had watched wickedness unfold around him. He have seen powers being abused, truth being ignored, evil being planned, and he also struggled with the same sins in his own heart as well. So the psalm is not a reaction to one specific event like the battle or an escape. Instead, it's a psalm that was written after a long reflection on life as it really is. Psalms 36 verse 1 to 4, we read wickedness and the problem, and David begins by describing what happens when people stop living with the reverence of God or the fear of God. And he says the sin begins to speak quietly in the heart. It doesn't shout but whispers. It convinces us that we are fine, that we don't need any corrections, that we can manage life on our own. And he's telling the truth about the human condition. We do rely on ourselves. Our wisdom fades away. When we ignore God, our heart slowly hardens. And then the most dangerous lies are not the ones that we tell others, but the one we tell ourselves. But David, on verse 5, he looks up, he lifts his eyes, and everything changes, right? He says, "Your love, Lord, reaches to the heavens, your faithfulness to the skies." Now, here's the turning point of the psalm. Human faithfulness has limits. God's love does not. Our heart tends to wander away, but God's remain steady. Our obedience, it fluctuates here and there, but His mercy never runs out. And David intentionally contrasts human sin with the divine love to remind us that this truth. We humans are broken, and our brokenness is very real, but God's grace is greater. And when your heart feels unreliable, when things around you feels unreliable, when people around you feel unreliable, trust the God who never changes. And David goes on to describe about God's generosity, His generosity and His abundance. He says God invites His people to His feast, and in His house He offers drinks from the river of His delight. So this is not a God who gives sparingly. This is not a God who gives to you what you need daily by daily, but this is a God who gives you freely and generously. Like He gives you everything you need, joy, grace, and life itself. But we often live spiritually thirsty while we're standing next to this endless supply of living water. And David is reminding us, stop living spiritually thirsty when God is offering the living water. And then David declares again on verse 9, "For with you is the fountain of life. In your light we see light." So without God, we stumble through confusion. With Him, we gain all clarity about who we are, who He is, what God's will is, and where we should be going. All that, anything that has a confusion, God gives clarity. And God does not push us away. When life feels heavy, He does not push us away. Instead, He invites us closer. David ends the psalm with a prayer, trusting God for protection, justice, and faithfulness. And this shows us that Psalm 36 was not written just to reflect on life, but to place life fully in God's hands. You don't need all the answers. You just need to stay close to the source of life. And sometimes our weakness of our heart hold us and tells us that you can't go move forward. You're a failure. But God's love will help us. He will help us to turn our eyes from our fears and failure to His faithful love. and we just need to pray to God to help us and help us to walk with Him in His life, and then rest will God will take care of it. I hope these words encourage you and helped you, and just run to the living water, and He's able to provide all the needs and all the answers that you need. Thank you.